All right, chat. So today we're going to be talking about Discord games. Now, some of you in the chat probably don't know what a Discord game is, so let me go and break it down for you. The terminology Discord game is basically used for fighting games that basically use Discord as the primary source of getting players together in order to find matches, because if you try to get on the game regularly through the matchmaking or the lobby systems, there's usually no one on. So usually you have to go through these Discords and actually try to find people to play with and set up some time so you guys can actually play the game. Now, if you weren't around when I actually made this community post 2 months ago, I stated besides netcode, because obviously netcode is going to be the biggest factor when it comes to discouraging people. What other factors discourage you from wanting to improve in a fighting game while playing online? And to my surprise, 58% of the 1,400 people that actually voted on this stated small communities. Having to join Discord to find matches is going to be the thing that discourages them the most, besides the netcode being bad, because the game doesn't have proper netcode. Then obviously no one's going to be trying to play that online. And very interesting that this was actually the thing that people actually picked the most. Now, a strong, dedicated, tight niche community for a fighting game on Discord is definitely a good thing for a fighting game. Let's get that out the way. But I definitely understand when some of the comments were coming from, when people were stating that they simply don't like going inside of Discord. There's nothing wrong with the Discord, but sometimes, you know, you just want to relax, just hop online and just be able to play some matches, right? The fact that you got to do this whole correlation thing to try to find matches sort of is a little extra step that some people just aren't willing to go through, and therefore it discourages them from playing the game. You know, some games, even though the netcode may not be the best, like say like Dragon Ball FighterZ, just the IP alone carrying that game, people still play it all the time, mainly because you can always hop on the Dragon Ball FighterZ and play people, right? Because of that, it's way easier to get people onto that game. But this is not to say that Discord communities definitely can't grow. There are definitely Discord games that have been growing over time, and they've been definitely getting more people to actually play. Take the Granblue community. I think they're doing a fantastic job with Granblue Fantasy Versus, always trying to get people inside the game, always doing these community nights where everybody come together and play the game all on one night on the PC and stuff like that. So there are communities for fighting games that definitely try to make newcomers feel welcomed. They have resources. The players are very welcoming in that aspect. And if all else fails for you trying to find games for people to play on the Discord, they have a whole night dedicated to playing people. But I'm not gonna lie, chat, some of these comments are actually pretty interesting. Let's read a couple. Small communities, definitely. I bought BB Tag on Switch. The only way to find was removing the match restrictions and matching Asia opponents. The new Melty Blood isn't looking much better, as I always seen 6 to 10 people in the game is a week old. Yeah, definitely small communities. Smaller communities tend to hold info back. Either they want to be the best in the small group, or they all play top tiers. Plus, I had really bad time asking for matches in Discords for a ton of different games. Granblue, Blade Strangers, Kohime Discords are terrible. I'd rather play randoms online. Basically small communities, but as a function of time constraints. If I had to spend too much time looking for the opponents to play, that's already a chunk of my time to play in the day. So some of these some pretty valid points. Obviously, you know, if you only got a specific amount of time you can play in a day, once again, it does take a little bit extra time, and maybe the time thing when it comes to you having to set up the time to play people, because not all the time, even when you're in the Discord, when you ask to play people could play right away. They'd be like, okay, can you play at this time or whatever. You guys try to find like a time, but like if the time is that you're getting on the game is all the time that you have for the day, then of course it discourages you from playing the game. If the time that you are trying to play, no one's on, so you have to go through this process to try to find times. Some people just don't want to deal with that, and totally makes sense. Of course, I guess some people can have some bad encounters when it comes to Discords. I've never really personally had any bad encounters when it comes to Discords, but I also do like when communities actually try to make the process or make it easier for people to actually get on these games. Good example of this is actually going to be the classic Melty Blood, the integrated UI that's actually been out and stuff like that. It actually has some lobby features, and of course I think they got a new feature where you can actually do region search for matches as well. So, you know, being able to just search, and it integrates the Discord automatically for you that way, and you don't have to really like do anything on that part. You just sort of boot up the UI, and everything's on the back end, and you can sort of just find matches through the UI and stuff like that. Stuff like that, when communities actually go out of their way to try to make things more accessible to players when it comes to their ability to find matches, is super helpful for trying to get new players into a game, I feel like. But you know, chat, I think the conversation is obviously pretty interesting, because I feel like there's always another underlying cause, and I think it really always boils back down to, like, I don't know, I guess does it always boil back down to the netcode? I feel like if a netcode is good, there's going to be a decent community within the game. that's just playing it. Maybe that's just how I feel. Maybe that's not always the case though. But like recent examples, if you take a look at some games like that, say like Granblue, you know, once again, probably a Discord game at this point. Once again, strong community though. But why did it become a Discord game in the first place? Probably because, once again, the netcode, right? It's definitely getting harder to find matches inside of Melty Blood type Lumina as well already. Now, that game was definitely, I feel like, a little bit more niche at its appeal at the beginning. But at the beginning as well, it definitely has some netcode issues. And that probably discouraged a lot of people from trying out the game as well. Now, it did get, of course, some improvements that happened really early on. But for some reason, it just still don't feel like the best rollback. And I guess it sort of discouraged people from playing the game too, as well as the gameplay probably having a little bit to do with it. Some people just don't like the way the gameplay is at the moment. What would I have picked from my list? I would actually have to pick the Discord thing too, I guess. I have no problem actually going inside of Discord and finding matches. That's not really an issue. But from the other options that I picked, the win-loss ratio, which is usually something that discourages new players, and then of course proper matchmaking. Matchmaking, I guess, is sort of a problem if it's not like functioning properly, but I can usually get past that if there is abundance of players to play within the game. You can usually get past that, but truly, you know, a lack of players is something that can just make an experience not that good. And I'm not even talking about the aspect of you get on the game and you're fighting the same people. I'm totally fine with like playing the same like 10 people in the game. You know, if it's 10 people that's on the game, that's 10 people to play at the very least. I'm talking about aspects where you get on the game and it says 0 out of 0. That's where it hurts your soul right there. Those are the times where it's like, dang, man, I just really wanted to hop on and get a few matches in tonight before I go to bed or something like that. I can totally sympathize with those type of people for sure. But if you are trying to grow from a scenario like that, then using Discord and having a community like that is the way to try to grow the game from the state that it has. That is the beauty of Discord games. And sometimes you find some of the most dedicated communities for their games in those type of situations. Like some games can have a lot of people and the player base isn't as dedicated as, say, like a Discord game. Sometimes you find a really niche, tight-knit group that like really wants players to understand and love the game as much as they do. One of the communities I definitely had to say for that was definitely Undernight. When I started playing Undernight right before Granblue Fantasy Versus came out, that was like one of the most dedicated communities I've ever joined, as far as like the amount of resources there, the amount of people willing to help you and play you and help you understand the game. That is one of the best experiences, and typically you miss out on that unless you go into these Discord communities. I think that's one of the best parts and one of the benefits of actually unfortunately having a game at that point. Of course, there are Discords and stuff for when games are large too, but it's just something about like when there's just a tight-knit small community, you get something I feel like magical almost. I don't know, pretty interesting conversation though, chat. Definitely probably gonna be a YouTube video though for the people in the YouTube. Definitely let me know how you guys feel about this. Let me know what choice you would have picked out of the community post that I posted, and of course how you guys feel overall about like small tight-knit Discord community fighting games, stuff like that. Are you guys comfortable with that? Does that actually discourage you from playing the game that you got to go inside Discord? Well, apparently it discouraged a lot of people that, you know, voted on there. So I just want to know what your guys' opinions on it as well. Let me know down in the comments below. One of the beauties of fighting games is how we can have engaging discussions like this, for real. You know, sometimes it be getting a little bit toxic and stuff like that, but for real, I do enjoy that aspect of fighting games the most. It's just the amount of discussions we can have are almost endless when it comes to fighting games, and that truly is one of the best parts of the community to me, for sure, is the engaging discussions around the games we love, like 100%.